Bonjour YouTube, it's Lux La Femme. Please like, subscribe, share, and comment on my videos and Madames and Messieurs. Please don't forget to click the notification bell. In contemplation mode, I am reconciling several lessons. One of the lessons that I have to heal from and see it as a lesson is the lesson of triangulation that I learned in de-triangulating myself from a narcissist. Narcissists use triangulation, or another way of looking at it, the us versus them tool, very successfully. The us versus them tool is literally a societal construct, a very lucrative one, a very powerful one, and unfortunately a very successful one. So when a narcissist uses it against their subjects, they usually get what they want until that subject decides, I no longer want to be a part of this. Not everybody comes to that conclusion, but for the most part, people do. Some people instantly figure it out. Some people don't. For me, I don't ever want to be a part of it again. I never want to be enmeshed, or I'm going to say enmeshed, but what always goes through my mind when it comes to this is a spider web and being entangled in all the lies and deceit. And if you've ever seen a spider web and seen how a spider catches its prey, and how much a spider catches as prey, depending on the area, of course, and the spider, you'll see how those webs literally, once a prey is caught in the web, it is very hard for that prey to get out unless the prey is too big. And then there's prey that have literally been able to get out, but then there's prey that have been too big, didn't get out quick enough, and that spider still got them. Depending on the spider, of course, and the power of the spider's venom. How I see a narcissist is like a spider, like the most venomous spider you can think of, that spins a web. Because there are very venomous spiders out there that don't spin webs at all and just pounce on their prey. I don't see a narcissist like that. I see narcissists like black widow spiders, or what's the one from Australia that is very poisonous? I can't think of it. I want to say it's a trapdoor or it's a funnel web spider. I can't remember. But the prey is not paying attention to or doesn't see the web until it's too late. With a narcissist, that spider weaves its web of lies and deceit, manipulation, a lot of faux apologies, if you will, a lot of breadcrumb, manipulations. Oh, baby, if you just, give me a chance. I know I messed up, but, if you just hang in there with me, be patient with me, all the while spinning that web, until here you are as prey, stuck. And when that narcissist needs the blood, the sustenance from you, that a lot of people call supply, but when they need that life force from you, they then come at their leisure and start sucking you dry. They're sucking you dry of all your resources that you can give or you have available to you to give to that narcissist, until you have nothing else to give, and then they leave you. But that doesn't mean that you're out of the web. They don't let you go, so to speak. In your mind, it seems that way because they just stop talking to you or they stop interacting with you. No, they leave you hanging. They leave you caught up in the web until they can come back and re-engage and start sucking the life out of you again. Now, the blessing is that you can get out of the web, but you have to realize that the web is not as strong as it looks. If there might be a lot of it that you're wrapped up in, but it's like taking up, like in Ephesians 6, taking up the whole armor of God and using all those attributes in Ephesians 6 to free yourself. The sword of salvation, I believe, is the word of God. And I'm trying to think of what the truth is. But it's the truth. Truth is the peace. It's the strongest weapon against all the webs of lies and deceit that the narcissist wraps you up in. Once you have the truth of it and you're dealing in the truth of it, like truthfully, you were in love with a lie. I was in love with a lie. The construct was, I was totally in love with an absolute fallacy. Absolute. And I stayed in love with that person for years. I'm sorry, not that person, but that lie, that shadow self, that you know, it reminds me of is, did you ever play with paper dolls? Did you ever have a paper doll set? My mom used to buy those for me. Oh my God, I used to have so many of them. And so I could, it was a lot cheaper than buying Barbies, but you had your little paper doll set, you had your outfits and things like that. That's what a narcissist construct to me reminds me of. It is a blow up, false, not alive rendition of this person. And you can dress it up however you want to dress it up, but it's still a paper person. It's still it's still a lie. It's still a construct. It is not real. But you are in love with that fantasy, that fallacy. And I was for years, put up with all kind of mess because it was like, I don't know how to describe it. But it was really like I was dealing with, as I would look at him, I was so enamored with how he looked. But he treated me like total and complete garbage. Now, of course, he didn't start off treating me like garbage. But as soon as he started, does it matter when you start just because you didn't start off that way? The reality was the fantasy that I have created around this person was, again, just that. And I keep saying that because it was such a hard lesson to learn for me. I don't know about you, but for me, oh my God, I was just so enamored with this absolute lie. All the webs and deceit. Didn't want to even deal with the fact that this person was lying to me. And in my soul, I knew he was lying to me. I knew this was not the right person for me. And yet I just wanted to make that lie the truth. I was just wanted that lie to be the truth. Like would pray that lie would be literally, please God, please heal him. Please heal him. Please restore him. Lord, why can't we be together as a couple to, love each other? Prayed. God, I prayed. The bottom line is that man was not the man that I fantasized about, because that's all it was. I was in love with a fantasy. He was everything that man looked, the way he looked was just, to me, was like a fantasy come true. Chiseled jaw, sexy chocolate skin, sexy lips, piercing eyes, gorgeous body, gorgeous voice. And I made up this fictitious personality to go with how he really looks. On the outside, the man is gorgeous. On the inside, he's garbage. But I made up this fictitious personality, or convinced myself that, well, because he had been abused when he was a child, this is the reason why. And yeah. So as I share that with you, I don't know if that's your story. I know it's mine. I'm just sharing that when we are able to deal in the truth of it, truthfully look at ourselves and look at what we have constructed in our minds, we can free ourselves from the matrix, the narcissistic matrix. Whew. It's a heavy message, in my opinion. It's a heavy lesson that I've been lying to myself this whole entire time about a man because of how he looked. Made up this fantasy. I was watching a relationship guru, Kevin, and God, Kevin, please forgive me, I can't think of your last name. But he said it best. He was one of the first people I've seen on YouTube as a relationship coach that just came out and said, women, you are in love with a fantasy. A lot of times you're in love with this fantasy in your mind and you don't want to admit and just deal with the fact that you are involved with a fantasy. The man that you are, like, and the way he said it, it made so much sense. It was so clear. He said, if your girlfriends or somebody asks you, why are you with him? And you can't tell a person, there's something about him. That is the fantasy. That's the fantasy that you have made up in your mind. Oh, man. When he said that, I said, oh, Kevin. Oh, my God. He's right. He's right. I made this up. I made this man up in my mind. The fantasy part, not he's a real man, but the relationship part, I made it up. I mean, I don't know how to say it, but when people ask me why I was with him, I could not give them a good answer because we were not compatible. I liked how he looked. He was sexy to me, and therefore I allowed a lot of bad behavior. And I want to own it because I'm almost positive I'm not the only one that's going through it. When you deal with the reality of the situation, the person's insides are ugly. The person's character is lack. The person's caring for you is non-existent. When you can do that, you will free yourself from the narcissist matrix. Au revoir, mon ami. Mon amies. Madams and messieurs of YouTube. Thank you for your time. We'll talk again.